Hello, I'm Katherine Murphy, the moderator for this League of Women Voters candidate interview. I'm joined today by Rob Iverson, who is running for Elum-Roslyn School Board at Large, Position 2. The ground rules for this event were shared earlier with Rob and are posted in the description below. The interview consists of an opening statement, followed by 3 questions and a closing statement. All candidates running for this position were invited to be interviewed. So let's get started. Rob, you have 60 seconds for your opening remarks.
Thank you, and thank you to the League of Women Voters for providing this forum for us, and also thank you to the general public for tuning in to this video. I'm a 64-year-old man with a 7-year-old daughter. That's right, 64 and 7, and I'm doing this. I'm running because I like to take an action in things I'm involved with in my life. And having a 7-year-old daughter, I definitely, for the first time in my life, have a daughter, and it's my only child. So it's very important for me to be a part of her life wherever I possibly can. That's including the school. I'm a 4th-generation Cle Elum resident. My grandparents immigrated here from Croatia, and my great-grandparents, they're Augie and Mary Petrich. They have taught me some great values when I was a kid. I also have a aunt who was a school teacher at the Cle Elum-Roslyn School District, Shirley Petrich. She was a wonderful teacher, according to so many students.
Thank you, Rob. We need to move on.
Okay, thank you.
Great. So we're going to move on to our first question.
Sure.
And that is, boomer retirement was predicted to occur in the early 2020s for teachers, and COVID accelerated teacher and staff turnover. How can the district attract and retain good teachers, paraprofessionals, and other classified staff? You have 90 seconds to respond.
Well, no, it's pretty obvious that pay is a big part of people's lives. That's, we go to jobs, we like to get paid as much as we can. We need to make sure that teachers are paid correctly. Number 2, they obviously need to have affordable housing. That's obviously a huge deal. I think I looked at a statistic today as far as what keeps teachers here and what keeps it and what drives them away. Autonomy is very important. A school board who is involved and listens to them and provides them what they need. A superintendent who's also a big part of that. John Belcher, I've met him. He's an amazing man. We are very lucky to have John Belcher here, folks. He's a great guy. I think that it's a really good communication between the public and parents and the school board to help teachers feel that they can be as best they possibly can in their classroom. Thank you.
Great, thank you. So the next question is, what are your top 3 school board priorities for the school board if you win election? And you have 90 seconds.
Well, like I said in my previous statement, I think it's very important that the school board is not just a board that sits there and just dictates. We need to be in touch with the public. We need to listen to the public. We need to pass those messages on to each other. We need to be a part of what the school, what the teachers are teaching. We need them to be, completely involved in each other's decisions. And having a teacher that doesn't have a board that doesn't listen is really not something that's going to get a lot of things accomplished at school. I'm very concerned about how many students or parents are not taking their kids to school anymore. They're taking them to other school districts or homeschooling. I think that if that is the case, that there's something going on, and there's probably a lot of it's lack of communication. Thank you.
Thank you. So the last question is, in case of budget cuts, what would be your criteria where it comes to retaining programs and staff positions? And you have 90 seconds.
So when you ask for criteria, what do you mean criteria?
So like, what would be the values that you would use in terms of cutting? So you have to cut a certain amount of budget. What would be the elements that you would think about when doing budget cuts, if you had to do them?
Well, budget cuts means bigger classrooms probably, and that's really I think a no-no. I think size of classrooms are important, but what would I cut as far as budget goes? Well, it's a tough one. I think that you definitely want to keep your kids involved and active in school and engaged. And if there is a cut to be done somewhere, I don't like to cut special programs or programs regarding lunches and costs. I think honestly, there's always places you can cut, and without me looking at a breakdown of costs, I would really like to keep any program that helps kids learn and to be fed and to be nurtured and loved. That is going to be a priority of things that you keep. What you would cut, maybe it's something, as far as exterior maintenance or something, I don't know. But I think as long as you keep within the classroom and keep that running the way we've had it running, and what the administrators have said is the best way to keep it running, is what I would really want to stick with and not eliminate. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Now it's time for closing statement, and you have 60 seconds to close out.
I heard a quote once that a very famous football coach said, I want to make sure I get this right, and it's very simple: expect nothing, blame no one, do something. And there's a lot of finger pointing out there right now, and quite frankly, this is not my style. I want to be involved in my child's education. I want to be involved in helping the teacher do the best they can. We have amazing teachers up there. I've met a lot of them, and my daughter has an amazing teacher right now. I think John Belcher is an amazing superintendent. I think he'll be great. I just think we have a real good core of individuals at this school. But it's important that we all listen to each other, stick with what's important: reading, writing, arithmetic, science, history, fun, playing, not the hot buttons of the day, but things that are very important. I read something recently that stated that we're starting to focus on things outside of school, whatever those hot buttons may be. And because of those other items are not involved in our core parts of our schools, that our kids are starting to fall behind. And we just need to focus on what traditional values are in school, and just nurture our kids as much as we possibly can. And I really appreciate you guys all tuning in and listening to me speak today.
Thank you, Rob Iverson, for participating in this interview and for offering to serve our community as Elum-Roslyn School Board at-large position 2. For those watching, remember to check votewa.gov to be sure you are registered to vote. All interviews will be linked to the Kittitas County Voters Guide at kittitasleague.org. Thank you for voting in this election.
Thank you.